Hey soul, I'm sure you are experiencing that nagging feeling, that whisper in your ear that is saying, "You're not enough. You're going to be found out, wait and see. You're a fraud. You don't know what you're doing and talking about." That, my friend, is the shadow of imposter syndrome, and let me tell you, it can be a real pain in the you-know-what. But here's the good news. We don't have to let it rule our lives if we apply the following principles. We're specifically diving deep into the heart of mental alchemy, a powerful set of principles that can help us transform that self-doubt into unshakable confidence and authenticity. Over the next few minutes, we'll uncover 6 principles, 6 powerful tools to help you reclaim your power, step into your worth, and shine your light brightly on the world regardless of the negative voices that are running rampant in your mind. Once you know how to do this over and over again, the negative voices become your partner for your inevitable success instead of something that has power over your life. Let's get started. The first principle is all about shifting our perspective. You see, most of us, when those self-doubts creep in, we take it as evidence. See, I knew it. I'm not good enough. But what if, instead of seeing those doubts as proof of our inadequacy, we saw them as signs of growth, as opportunities for learning more about ourselves and our real needs? What if we got curious about them instead of letting them control our mood? Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" we ask, "What am I learning right now? What is this trying to teach me? What do I need to do differently?" This, my friends, is the heart of the principle of perception. It's about reframing those so-called failures as feedback, not as evidence of incompetence. It's about recognizing that we are all works in progress, perfectly imperfect and always becoming. The imperfection is perfect for this reason. Expansion needs contrast, which leads to the next principle. This principle is one of my favorites. You'll hear me talk a lot about this one on my channel. It's about recognizing the duality of things. We often see our self-doubt as this negative, limiting force. But what if it's also holding the key to our greatest strengths? Think about it. That fear of speaking up, of being vulnerable. What if it's actually a deep sensitivity, a heightened awareness of others' feelings, of people finally noticing your highest potential, your gifts and authority? That feeling of being too much? What if it's really just your vibrant, passionate energy waiting to be channeled into your next project or to wrap up the last one? Take some time to explore this with your higher mind and not your lower mind. This is the difference, is perceiving your problems from the small picture to the bigger picture. I have a video I created a couple from this one that speaks more in depth on how to do this effectively. Write down a list of your perceived flaws, those things that trigger your self-doubt. Now, next to each one, write down how that flaw might also be a strength. From here, you can apply this next principle to your advantage. Alchemy, at its core, is about transformation. It's about taking something ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. And that's what we're doing here with our self-doubt. Instead of letting it paralyze us, we're going to channel its energy into productive action, into growth. The next time you feel that wave of insecurity and frustration with your progress wash over you, ask yourself, what is one small action I can take right now to move forward? It could be researching a new skill, reaching out for feedback, or simply practicing something you want to get better at. Or even upgrading the value of the things you have been doing that you believe are not as important yet. These principles support your autonomy and help you live from your own rules, which makes the next principle super important in all of this. This principle is about rewriting the narrative you have been living from, changing the story you tell yourself through others. For far too long, many of us have clung to this belief that we are somehow not enough. Not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough. But duh, you are enough. And the more you keep seeking for things to make you feel enough, the more you become not enough. The heart wound gets more infected until you decide to treat it first with the acceptance of your own humanity. You are just acting from childhood programming where you assumed you were not enough because of circumstances and the tone of relationships you internalized. The thing is, this was never personal. Nothing ever is. Start replacing that old, tired story with a new one. One that says, I am worthy of my achievements. I belong in every room I step into because these rooms were created by God, and considering God owns everything on this planet, so I belong here. I am a child of God. This is not coming from your ego, but the essence of your being. Write down affirmations, create a gratitude journal, and record every compliment, every success, new revelation of your past, every bit of positive feedback you receive. The next principle will make this exercise a lot more easier to tackle. So much of our self-doubt stems from anxieties about the future, from what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. We get so caught up in our heads that we forget to be present, to ground ourselves in the here and now. That's where mindfulness comes in. Whether it's deep breathing, meditation, or simply taking a few moments to connect with your senses, finding ways to ground yourself in the present moment can be incredibly powerful. Before you take on a challenging task or face a situation that triggers your self-doubt, ask yourself, what can I focus on right now to pour into my well-being, peace, and ease? The last principle applied will make this process even more empowering and self-validating. As we transform our inner narrative through reflecting on our own part in creating the story we used to see ourselves through, something almost magical happens. The mirror of the past begins to show your growth so far, because who you used to be is no longer who you presently are. This internal shift that began with perceiving yourself, your past and circumstances differently starts to reflect outward. The way we show up, the energy we bring to the world, it all begins to shift because we shifted first. With this newfound confidence, we start taking more risks, embracing new challenges, and allowing ourselves to shine brighter than ever before without worrying how others perceive us. You want to visualize yourself succeeding, thriving, and living a life that feels aligned with your truest self more than you visualize yourself failing and being a victim. Considering this is all energy work that is also very influenced by your external environment, surround yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you, and remind you of your own brilliance when your human forgets and grows tired of the rhythm of lows. Thank you for joining me on this journey of mental alchemy. I hope you always remember, transforming self-doubt into confidence isn't a one-time event. It's a lifetime journey of self-discovery and growth. When you keep practicing these principles, keep showing up for yourself no matter what results life is reflecting back. You will watch in awe as you transform your relationship with yourself and the world around you. This change within is what will make you unstoppable. And if you found this helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. Subscribe and check out the description box below for more info. Because the world needs all of us shining our lights brightly, without second-guessing our power, without an apology for the expression of our highest potential. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be brave, and always remember your worth.